I was just talking to a friend of mine.
We were talking on Patreon.
Patreon.com/IRRANDILL. $3 a month, bonus episode a week.
It can't go unsaid that not only do you get this for free, you get more. You get 2 podcasts out of this podcast, and there's a couple dozen people who do that, and a couple more dozen who don't do that. So get on it.
Look at you, Sharm.
But
we get a free case of Rap Snacks when you sign up.
Come on now.
That's pretty sick.
Go on. I mean, go on now.
Go on now. So we
were talking about this on Patreon.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is a relevant illiterate podcast. You know that. Shut up. Who cares? We're talking about names and stuff. But I was talking to a friend of mine who I used to work with, and her name was Jennifer. Right? She went by Jennifer. She's like me. She doesn't like it when her name gets
not
short.
Jen, not Jenny.
Yeah. Well, I'm the same way. I don't like Den or Denny. I hate them. Probably because that's what my dad's been called. And I'm like, no, not me. But she just reminded me that I used to call her Jennifer Warts instead of genital warts. And like, I forgot all about it. And then like, she reminded me of it. And I was like,
that is good.
Fuck.
Good on me.
Fucking killed it, dude.
Good job, me. Yeah. You killed that one.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. I was like so proud. I was like, Jennifer Warts. I've always been fire at that shit, dude. No, but on a serious topic, this was brought up I was reading an interview. I forget which band I was reading. It was one of those Panda makeup black metal bands. And they were getting like called out for songs about like Nazi imagery and shit like that. And the guys said, we're not Nazis. He's like, look, death metal is supposed to shock people and,
it's supposed to be extreme, whatever.
Yada, yada, yada. He's like, what about all these other bands that talk about like stabbing, people hitchhiking and cutting them up and throwing them in a shed and all that? He's like, yes, it's very shocking. They have a whole song about the maggots infesting their body and all that. And you guys don't bat an eye. But when we try to be shocking and, with this stuff, everybody just wants to call us Nazis and stuff like that. And,
I see 2 sides of that coin.
I was thinking of it, but like, there's a different, like, there are the bands like the white power bands that advertise themselves as nationalist bands, white power bands, whatever you want to call it. And all right, of course they are. But some of these bands that actually, they just bring out, like, they say they have a song about World War II. Slayer had a song called Death Camps and shit like that. It's like, is it racist or is it just them being shocking and all that?
Stormtroopers of Death, speak English or die.
Yeah, well, they were
Pantera, everything they ever did.
Out of the music and in the music. But it's like, should we look at that the same way as we look at like Mortician lyrics? Like, because you listen to Mortician lyrics, you're like, Roger isn't out there fucking in crypts pulling bodies out of the ground, fucking them and putting them, in an incinerator and all that shit. And you don't think
he's not hacking people up for barbecue.
Yes, exactly. And so should we look at the bands that sing about like, the Third Reich and shit the same way? Or should we just be like, yeah, what the fuck are you guys doing? This is racist as hell. What are you doing? And he also equated it to how come when people make movies about that take place during the Holocaust, no one says boo. No one gives them any kind of pushback. But when we write a song about the same situations and the same, for instances or whatever, everybody wants to jump down our throats. Now, this band has constantly done shit like that. So you're kind of like, all right, guys, pump the brakes. But
who's the band?
But I fucking forget. I want to say it's one of the bigger black metal bands in like Norway area. Fuck, I'll remember it later.
Not Immortal, not Dark Throne, not Marduk.
Yeah, it was one of the other ones.
Something
Emperor, maybe no.
Probably not. Emperor doesn't really do that shit anymore anyway. It
was a band, like, they weren't talking about what they were doing currently. It was what they do in like their demo era, first record era, when they were younger and first starting out. They don't do it anymore and shit like that. But it's like, that was their defense to it. And I was kind of thinking, it's like, are they somewhat right in this situation?
I tend to err towards no.
Same.
Only because, yes, there are artistic interpretations of things like that in movies, but I think it's just not the same when it comes to music, because too much is left up to the imagination.
Yeah.
Now, when you make something like, for instance, Inglourious Bastards, it's not real.
Yeah.
And it's obviously not real because it's a retelling of history of all these are fictionalized events. Schindler's List even is fictionalized, but there's something in front of you on the screen telling
Schindler's
you what's
List
happening.
Is based on a true story, wasn't it?
I guess.
Oscar Schindler is a real person.
Maybe he's a real person, but
Oh yeah, they definitely judged it up for Hollywood. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Okay, go ahead.
They take their
artistic freedoms.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Liberties.
That's the one. But music, all you can go off of is either still imagery for artwork, logos, or lyrics.
Yeah.
And I think I think music is up for too much interpretation as compared to a picture is a fucking picture.
Yeah.
Like, that's a picture of a cowboy with no face.
Fuck yeah.
It's not something else.
Yeah.
Or this Grizzly Man documentary is about fucking bears.
Fuck yeah.
And that dude who loved him. It's not about other shit.
That cowboy's also technically a bear. He's got hairy shoulders. You're so hard right now.
Damn, that totally threw me off.
Sorry.
I'm trying to place what he is. He's not anything I'm thinking of. And I don't know.
He's an otter.
Nah, he's too big. He's too beefy.
I was thinking, like, some of like death metal, like the gore lyrics, are so over the top.
Yeah.
They just like, there's no way in hell any of that happened. You know, like, that guy is not eating people. You know, shut up, right?
You can't do that.
Yeah. Where it's like, but like you're saying, like, oh, like, you know, we'll rise up and kill like brown people or whatever. You could do that. That is happened and it's possible. But then I was also thinking there's a lot of like the lyrics about like serial killers and shit, and that can happen because there's like it's
historically it has happened.
Yeah, and it's
lot.
like, and a lot of like the death metal lyrics or even just straight metal lyrics are just
as opposed to gay metal.
Gay metal's probably fucking so good. It's just sassy as hell. But like, you know what I mean? It's like there's plenty of like metal songs that are like about Ed Gein or John Gacy or whoever. So it's like they're technically just recounting the crimes, right?
There's even bands named after them.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're recounting the crimes that just happen to be like the Holocaust or the killing fields or like all, or like, you know, Tiananmen Square or whatever, like it's still historically accurate or whatever, but it's like, do you give them shit for it? Or are you just like, all right, they're just being
Unit 731.
You're just doing like, you know, they're just being quote unquote extreme.
The R of Nanking.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we actually have to say R. We can't say the full word. But
it's that
like,
bad.
Yeah, but it's like, is it like, because I really like this one band. It was called Hail of Bullets.
They were awesome.
Yeah, and then the last one they did was like had a lot of songs about Stalin, but all their whole shtick was based off World War II stuff, and specifically World War II, because the third album, the one I'm talking about, was called the Rommel Chronicles. Out there, you know,
the general.
Yeah. So it's like, all right, yeah, and he was, granted, he wasn't a Nazi, but he wasn't a good person.
No, he was a fascist, I think.
Yeah.
Not a Nazi, but a fascist.
Definitely a fucking fascist. So it's like, I think his name's Irwin. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So does that mean they're racist? And like, I never thought that. And then years later, the singer who was also sang for Asphyx and Pestilence.
God, the band's so goddamn good.
Dropped the hard R multiple times on Facebook posts, and
boy,
which was funny because he did it while having white boy braids.
Don't they always?
And it's like, dude, how are you racist but dressed like fucking a riffraff? Like, what are you doing, dude?
Why?
But that's besides the point. It's like,
Yeah.
so does that mean that Halo Bullets was a racist band?
Or he is a racist. That's like fucking Disma.
Yeah.
Man, was that band good.
Yeah.
But that singer guy is a fucking piece of shit.
Yes. But say like the person, like the lyricist or whatever, isn't a piece of shit, and like they might be racist, but they're not like violent or anything like that in real life. Say they're just a guy who's just may or may not be racist. Do we instantly discount them for bringing up subjects such as race on the, the not so positive side and give them shit for it? Or we're kind of like, oh, he's just showing like the extremes of like human nature and shit, like the same way like Mortician does or Cannibal Corpse does, and shit like that. It's like, so I was like, where do you draw the line? Like if he gets up on stage and he's like, fuck group X ... and insert race, religion, whatever here, yeah, you can kind of be like, all right. If they have SS bolts in their name, you're kind of like, all right. But if they just happen to have a song that's about the Russians invading Germany during World War II, it was like, are they sketchy or are they just really like World War II buffs? When there's a lot of non-racists that are World War II buffs.
Many.
Yeah. So
I think it's most white men over the age of 50.
So he was just saying like, yeah, we're just like wanted to put out the most extreme lyrics we could. And I'm like, well, mission accomplished. Good job. But
for sure. But there's a big fucking but there.
Do they deserve the racist tag or were they just,
being extreme? Is
there like, if you're trying to do like extreme metal, is there a line that you shouldn't cross when trying to be extreme?
It's interesting because I just like rewind like a minute ago. You can see the thought cross my mind.
I saw it leak out of your ear.
Like if let's say the bands that are singing these writing these lyrics do the things that they sing about.
Yeah.
They dig bodies up from a fucking graveyard and fuck them or something. That's so illegal.
Yeah.
Or like
there was punk bands doing that in the 80s just for funsies. Ugh. It's fucking nuts.
Or the same thing goes with like drill rappers. Like
that one dude in Philly that he fucking dug up his ops. He dug his body up.
Dug it up.
I forget his fucking name. I think he just ended up dying in prison or something.
They all die.
But it's just like
that's so illegal.
Oh God, it was just fucking nuts. He's like, yeah,
But it's same across the board. Like if you go out and kill your ops, or if you go chop up a body, you will go under the jail.
Yeah.
Or if you sell drugs and you get caught, or you racketeering, you get caught. But if you racially discriminate against someone, save for like out and out murder, or like God forbid, like lynching somebody. Like that's illegal, but like I don't see many business owners wanting to write lyrics about racially discriminating against hires.
Yeah.
But they're not going to go to jail for that.
A Croatian in my shop, not so fast, mister. Like
right.
And yeah.
Like technically they can like it's not good for business, but they can get away with it for a little while.
I'm just saying, like, but do you equate? Should we equate what these people that are being extreme saying somewhat racist things to the same as like when Cannibal Corpse has a song about slashing people up, or when like Project Pat talks about shooting someone while they're sitting in their car and all that
fucking bars.
Like, yeah, they're fucking great, but I guarantee you, like, no one in Cannibal Corpse has stripped, strangled, or raped anybody. You might want to bleep the R word. And I don't think Project Pat's killed anyone.
Doubt it. Yeah.
It's a bad fucking example, but a lot of those rappers, I think only maybe a hard dozen are actual legit murderers, like singing about it.
It's very
a lot of them. It's just like an image. It's a fucking like a vibe. It's just their thing that they're going for. So do we put these other guys on the same level as like a a hardcore gangster rapper or like a gore grind band? You know what I mean? Like, should we put them up there, or they're like, no, you definitely are racist?
I wonder if it's because of what I just said. Like, the act of like murder, corpse mutilation, like
It's
all of
so
those things
over
are
the top.
so extreme
Yeah,
that
they're cartoonish.
right.
There's no way you did this. There's also probably no way this actually happened.
Or is possible.
But like, okay, now what if they're singing a song about Ed Gein wearing, making lampshades out of people's skin?
Dead skin mask.
Yeah, making lampshades out of people's skin. All right, but then they talk about the concentration camps when people are making dentures out of Jewish people's teeth and stuff like that.
Oy vey.
Yeah, it's like, do we put that on the same level together, or is one racist? You know what I mean? Like, I always err on the side of caution because there is so much death metal out there. You got to drop one. There's still 5 other great bands out there to take their spot.
It's true.
You know? So,
New band every day.
yeah, so it's like, but sometimes you're like, yeah, are they really racist, or were they just trying to be, or were they just edgelords?
I think I just finally I just finally got there because it's intent. Now, they're, like we said with the they're taking artistic liberties. Those people are not going to chop up bodies.
Yeah.
They don't intend to.
Yeah.
However, when you write racist lyrics, if you intend racism, well, then again, that's the exact opposite of the fucking argument in the first fucking place.
I know.
Like you said.
It's
God
a fucking
damn it.
paradox. It's nuts, dude.
They're not intending to be, if hypothetically they're not intending to be racist, they're intending to be extreme, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Damn, that's tough. But I err on the side. I just err on the side.
Yeah, and it's hard to determine like what's in that person's heart.
And I guess it's like, if it looks like a duck, it walks like a duck.
And steps like a goose, yeah.
It's probably a fucking goose.
Yeah. That's a Nazi joke, everybody.
That was good. That was better than I thought it was going to
They
be.
would goose step, you get it? You know? What if the whole
What
if the whole topic conversation was just so I could weave that joke in?
Bro,
It was just
that was masterful.
it was just a huge setup just so I can get that fucking stupid joke in. But yeah, it's, I guess,
17-minute setup for a single pun.
It's
Pretty-
also
pretty
like,
good.
I can like listening to really hard ass like gangster rap never made me want to do any of the stuff actually discussed in the lyrics. Listening to
It made me want to.
some of the most brutal death metal has never made me want to do anything in the lyrics.
Yeah, not so much that.
So why are, like, I'm just playing devil's advocate with this. Like, why are we throwing the stigma on these quote unquote alleged racists? Because you can, like, I think, like, is it because you can more likely foment racist activities? Like, you're like, oh, if I see, like, a black dude in public and I just listen to this guy's song, I'm more inclined to, like, start shit with him. Because you're more likely to get in a fist fight at a gas station than you are to dig up a corpse or Uzi down the ops on their fucking corner. You know what I mean? It's like, it's weird. It's like, and it's hard to, like, what's acceptable, what's not, what's extreme, what's racist. And it's like,
It is.
and no matter what choice you make in your heart, someone's going to give you shit for that choice. It's like, you soft bitch, like, you racist sympathizer. You're like, oh fuck, wait, what? Like, either way you go, you're fucked.
Right.
So keep your opinions to yourself, kids. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't know. I was just thinking about it the other day. What the fuck was the band? Was it Borgnagar? They had a stupid name. That's all I can tell you. I'll remember it like 3 days from now.
Are you thinking of Belphegor?
Maybe.
Because I don't know. I mean,
But it's like the demos, like the early singles and shit had some sketchiness to it. But then I guess they all grew out of it and started singing songs about the moon and shit like that.
Yeah, I actually never heard. I don't think it's Belphegor. Now that we say that, because they were they don't even have they barely have even hints of black metal. And it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah. Oy. Yeah. I fell into a fun YouTube wormhole the other day. There is a really low level conspiracy theory, but it is one, that Dave Chappelle is a clone and not the real Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
The theory is when he left to go to Africa, he never came back. And that's why the Chappelle you see now is, they say he's taller and bigger. Like he's more muscular, which honestly you can just eat carbs and then do
do TRT
and do TRT
work out a lot.
Yeah. But they're like, and one of the biggest proponents of this is Jim Breuer.
Interesting.
Who was really good friends with Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
They were close.
Half baked, even before, way before.
Yeah. And he was just like, the Dave that came back from Africa wasn't Dave, man. You know, it was like, and I watched an interview he did with Roseanne Barr, another kook. And there's like, and she's like, he came back, you know, he's taller, he's muscular, you know. Only thing really the same is that he's black and talks like that. And she's just like, yeah, I believe it. I understand. All this, and they're just getting into this. So I was like laughing at it, but then there's like multiple YouTube videos talk about how Dave Chappelle is a plant, like not like, you know, a botanical plant, but like an industry plant or whatever you want to call it. I fell into it because when Larry sent us the, by the way, look this up. This guy named Roan on YouTube. He's one of the Barstool guys, but he has like a play off of the Hot Ones chicken wing show called Warm Ones, where he has warm beer with guests, and he had that one with War Mode, and they were talking about how
it was great,
and it's really funny, and they were just talking about how Shane Gillis is an industry plant.
Well, fucking Billy and Spud are like out
nuts,
there, dude.
Yeah, but it's funny because they're being funny about it.
It is funny,
but they're talking about how Shane Gillis is a CIA plant because one of his dad's friend is like the head of the CIA.
I gotta listen to that.
It's funny, but I guess that's what brought this into my algorithm, because I've been watching all these things about who's an industry plant, a CIA plant, and shit like that. And I stumbled, and like, I guess it's mixed with my comedy algorithm. And that's how I stumbled into Dave Chappelle being a clone, a double, or just not the Dave Chappelle that went to Africa.
It's a really interesting theory. And now I want to learn more.
There was a side-by-side comparison, because the first thing he did when he came back from Africa, the first public thing he did is he went on Oprah's show. This is back when Oprah had a show. So they had an interview. I think he was on the Jon Stewart show, on the one on the left, and it was him pre-Chappelle show, him talking and like just being Dave Chappelle. And then it was the one on the right was the Oprah Winfrey interview. And they're like, look, his skin tone is a lot lighter than he was back here in the 90s when he's doing the Jon Stewart show. And here he is on Chappelle's show, and look how he's the same darkness there as he was on the Jon Stewart show. But look how much lighter he is on Oprah's show. They're like, and also, if he just spent all that time in Africa, technically
he'd be much darker.
But he came back lighter. So, and they're like, look at Dave Chappelle and Killing Them Softly. Look at Dave Chappelle in The Closer, or whatever it was called. And he's fucking jacked. But, you know, you can do that. And they're like, look, they're like breaking down like his height discrepancies and shit. Like, how did he gain like an extra like 4 inches or something? I was like,
the height thing is a strange one.
Yeah. Because like, but they're also like that one, like you can't really make that judgment because they're going by him on stage and him on stage. It also depends on the stage, the lighting,
camera,
what's in the behind him and shit like that. You know, what if he's next to a short mic stand? It makes him look taller.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of it's just horse shit. But I was like, there's a lot of people are investing a lot of time in this theory that Dave Chappelle is a plant. And I'm like, but to what end?
Yeah. To what end is always the ultimate question.
I mean, Dave Chappelle is fucking hilarious. Make no bones about it.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle, before he left, is leaps and bounds more successful than he is now. You know, like now he's putting out mid comedy specials and getting yelled at by people for like having like dog shit takes on stuff. Before he left, he's king shit. It's like, so what? He came back because the world desperately needed Dave Chappelle to be less successful. That makes zero sense to me.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Like, there's the band that Mikey Bifocals is in.
Scowl.
Yeah. There's a rumor that singer girl is an industry plant. And I'm like, okay.
Doubt it.
And I'm like, okay. But why? Like,
right.
Not like, why do you think that? Why, like, what's the end goal here?
Yeah. Where are they putting them in for what? Yeah.
Is she going to like,
shout out to Mikey too. They just did the fucking Late Show the other day.
But it's like, so like, what is she going to like radicalize all their fans into becoming like a militia or something? Like, what is the end goal for her being a plant? I don't get it. Somebody said it about Turnstile and the Paramore chick and the big titty girl, Billie Eilish. It's like, okay, but what's the end game? Like, why would the CIA plant these people? Like, what do they hope to accomplish with this? I could see if you're going to plant someone in like a foreign government, you know, to rise up in their government, and then you can have some, you know, input or eyes and ears on the scene. Do you have like an industry plant in Scowl so she can see like what kids are doing at shows? Like, who gives a fuck?
She is also a kid.
Yeah. So it's like, well, that's the best person to plant amongst kids is another kid.
Right.
You know, it makes sense, dude.
You want to plant this kid somewhere?
All the information's there if you know where to look for it.
With the other kids.
But it's just like
all like
no one's throwing the accusation at like senators or, you know, governors. They're throwing it at like C-grade actors, singers on like punk and like hardcore and metal bands. It's like, why wouldn't you aim for like the middle to lower rung of society?
Right.
Don't you want to plant in some place where they can actually get some shit done?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
To what end are they industry planting this girl in an, albeit in the grand scale of the country, an unknown band?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yay. You're the biggest band in hardcore?
That's still a very small percentage of the real world.
Yeah. Have fun with your 20,000 listens.
Yeah, it's like
what?
Like, good for them, don't get me wrong, but
yeah, I agree.
If she was like a communist spy, she's still not going to recruit anybody. Maybe like 10 or 15 people, but it's like,
and that's just like,
yeah, so like where's the end game to these?
You can make the same argument about fucking Turnstile.
Yeah.
Like, also, all of those artists listed have provable track records of being like grinding since they started.
Hey, the Russians they started like training their spies at like age 8, dude. A lot of the Russian ballet, all of them were fucking spies that just didn't cut it, so they just like kept them they start training them in the ballet so they can be flexible and learn how to fight better.
Right.
So it's just like,
so, say what you will about Turnstile. Like, their music is not for everyone. I don't listen to them.
Yeah. I don't think they're CIA plants, though.
I know many people who enjoy them. I've been to a couple of Turnstile shows, and a handful of them later in their era, and they are undeniable as a live band. Nobody can walk away from a Turnstile show.
I hate that word.
Nobody can walk away from that show and say that band was not good. No one. Even if you don't like them.
Accepted. But yeah, I understand your point entirely.
Billie Eilish has been making music with her brother on their fucking computer just for SoundCloud for fun since they're like 15.
Yeah.
Just in their bedrooms.
Yeah.
It'd be weird if they had one room the whole time.
Hot.
Even now, even
hot.
though Billie Eilish is
they go from like a single family home to like a mansion, but they still share a room. There's 8 bedrooms in this house, but they still share one.
A bunker bed?
A bunk bed, yeah. They're not even fucking each other. They're just they're
totally
we like to hang out, dude.
Yeah, they just like to vibe a lot.
It's like, I don't like to go to other rooms to play Xbox with my brother. You're like, fuck that, dude.
No, we have the same. Yeah, our computer is a fucking 120 inch, but we're still split screen.
And we're still using the same Xbox Live account. You know, we're not going to pay for two. That's fucking insane. Yeah, it's just
to becoming the most followed musician on all of Instagram.
it's because of those cans, dude. They're fucking insane.
I'll give you 2 reasons why.
But all right,
and Haley Williams, undeniable
Paramore girl, right?
Yes, without a doubt, might be the most talented human being of my generation.
She is pretty talented.
She can do anything.
I mean,
and I saw them at the Harmony Grange in 2008 when they were an unknown, like somewhat unknown band, and that big album was just about to come out. And I saw them at a festival a couple of summers ago, and they stole the entire show. I mean, given I think they were the headliner of the day, and they performed like fucking headliners too.
I didn't pay them any mind until
This Is Why, right? For the homework assignment?
Until fucking your ex-girlfriend was just nuts for that band.
Always has been. Ever since however long.
And then I decided I actually really like Paramore. She just recently did an acoustic version of a Failure song with Ken Andrews from Failure. And I'm just like,
you see what I'm saying?
But I'm just like, oh, well, she's just going to fucking phone it in. I'm like, no.
She put her whole ass into that.
I was like, fuck yeah, go for it. Like, but anyway, I can understand if you want to say Haley Williams is a CIA plant. She can influence a lot of like young girls.
A lot.
Or like that makes sense.
Eilish even more so now.
Yeah. But like to say it about like the girl from Scowl.
It's laughable.
It's like, look, first off, the way she sings, she's never going to be as popular with the young kids as Paramore girl and Billie Eilish.
It's never going to happen.
Because she screams. She doesn't fucking actually sing.
The new material she is starting to sing. However, let's say in theory the record that they're going to put out, I think this summer or something, let's say it's quadruple the success of their other records.
Okay.
We're still talking about 100,000 copies sold?
Yeah.
That's like dream best case scenario for any hardcore band. I would never take that away from them. Her best hope from that as a plant would be to pivot off and have a solo career and then explode.
Right.
Don't see that happening either because, like you said, she's not a singer.
Yeah.
Like a Billie Eilish is, or like she's a performer. That band is all they can fucking play show. They can play a damn good show, but it's just not gonna I don't see it.
Like, and if you're coming at me saying like, Taylor Swift is a CIA plant, I'd be like I'll just be like, all right, tell me what you like. Tell me how you got to that. Like, just I'll listen to you. I'll entertain you.
I'll let you cook.
Yeah. And even if you like Eilish and the Paramore girl, I'm like, all right, let's see what you got. Cook with. But when you're like this girl what the girl's from Scowl's name? Do you know her name?
Cat Moss.
Cat. Okay. Cat from Scowl is an industry plant. I'm just like, shut up, dude. And like, as comedy is doing really is a big thing now. But in the grand scheme of celebrity, Dave Chappelle is still somewhat like a D-list celebrity.
Yeah.
He can't head a major motion picture comedy. He'll do one that'll be like B tier and fucking great.
He might even
He's done it.
He might even be in the best comedy movie that came out in the last 5 years.
Fucking Half-Baked,
or
baby
something.
boy. But it's like, why go for him when you could go for like any other comedic actor? Like even black comedians. You're gonna go for Dave Chappelle? Go for fucking Kevin Hart, who's also in tons of movies. That's who you would go for. Or go for what's his name? Chris Rock.
Well, they tried it, and then Will Smith slapped him out of Hollywood.
Damn, that's how you know you got, dude.
That's
how fucking funny it would be if they try to make you an industry plant and everybody, and even like the CIA's like, nah, fuck you. If you bomb for fucking CIA, but it's like if you look,
he did a corporate in Dulles and just bombed.
Like if you came to me and you said Brad Pitt is a CIA plant, I'm like, all right, go ahead. Let me hear it. Let me hear it. Lay it out for me. But if you came to me and said, let me think real quick. Okay, Al Leong, who played Genghis Khan in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, he's an industry plant. I'd be like,
okay,
shut up, shut up. You know, or like
even better.
All right, here, even
Stephen
this,
Baldwin,
even this. Or you're like, all right,
Alex Winter,
Chris Pratt's a CIA plant. All right, okay, Jeff Goldblum's a CIA plant. No, I don't think so. You wouldn't use Jeff Goldblum to be like a guy to influence people because it's like he's so weird. So like when he's great, he's great. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with his acting skills. I love Jeff Goldblum, but it's like, wouldn't you like you would want to pick like when you want to go for somebody with real influence in their line of work, whether it be comedy, acting, music, whatever, you want to go for the person that is the most palatable. So you're going to go for someone like Chris Pratt, who's funny, he's good in action flicks and shit like that.
He could sell tickets.
Yeah.
Period.
He's a white Anglo-Saxon man, you know?
And in this country, even more important, he's a Christian.
Yes, exactly.
Like a Christian.
You're not going to go for the quirky Jewish Jeff Goldblum.
Right.
You're going to go for
Steven.
Yeah.
He's fucking my ass.
Even in Death Wish, when he was trying to be fearsome, you're like, dude, you're still Jeff Goldblum. He's like, I hate rich cunts. Your mother is a cunt. Like you're still a weirdo. I can't take you seriously as a rapist, dude. You're just a goofball. You know, it's like, and then when it comes to music, like, if it's got to be the most bubblegum, sugary, easy to sell to anyone music.
Where's the Taylor Swift example?
It can't be like a subgenre of a genre, like a hardcore band.
Yeah.
Which is a subgenre of punk. I don't give a fuck what you say. And it's like, why you do that when you can just have like a straight pop or a straight rock or a straight rap?
Yeah, even punk has to muscle its way into the mainstream.
There's no point like having like a fucking industry plant and like something like Rancid or something or whoever. But it's like, it just doesn't make sense. But yeah, so like Dave Chappelle's a clone. It wouldn't make sense to why his comedy specials aren't as funny anymore.
Yeah,
but
that's the only
thing.
The only thing I can point to is
the fact that the people
decline.
Like the cheerleader of this movement is Jim Breuer is not helping either.
No,
Jimmy's a little off the deep end.
Yeah, he's a.
I have a queue of like comedy specials I haven't watched yet, and he has a newer one called "Someone Had to Say It."
Oh, it's still there.
Yeah, it's been in my queue.
You still haven't
for like a year and a half.
You still haven't been able to stomach it.
It's been a year and a half. Like anything else that comes across my mind, like I'm gonna sit down because I know it's gonna be crazy. So I'm like, but I want to see. It's going to be a spectacle, so I'm going to do it eventually, right? But every time, I'm like, okay, I got an hour and a half to kill. Let me fucking put this on.
It's that long?
No, it's just like I have time to kill, and it's not like I'm like, all right, I can do this and eat a meal. You know, it's like I'd always rather just eat the meal quietly and then like jerk off or fucking play Fallout or whatever and just like
and fall asleep. I doth decree right now, since we have no guests today, we're gonna mutual homework assignment that Jim Breuer special. If it's bad, we're gonna muscle through it, and then we should start
doing punishment homeworks.
I don't want to do that.
No, this is, let me finish. All right. You have to do something egregious, like not make an episode or something like, then again, Murrow would have like 46 fucking punishment specials, but like if you fuck up, you should have a punishment homework assignment.
Okay.
A more like penance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, penance is more like it.
Like say you fuck up and there's no video to the podcast, right?
Well, I'm the only one who can fuck that up.
Exactly. So as like
I have to sit through fucking Damn, I don't even know.
Fortune Feimster special. Or we'll make you listen to like a really bad band's newest record. Or something like that.
Or a really good band's later catalog record that is not
We're
good.
looking at you, Hatebreed. But it's like, I think that'd be funny. Like a funny thing to do.
It is a funny concept, but I don't want to do it in practice.
Then don't fuck up. That's like, that would just make all of us be on our fucking P's and Q's. Just, it's like, dude, like.
We're the only ones who are going to obey that. plus, how are we going to enforce it? If a guest is on 1 week, they're not going to be on the following.
No, it had to be between the three of us. You, me, and Mike.
Again, there's only a few. There's only a few select ways that I can fuck up an episode, or you.
If I drink too much and I'm just a fucking mess for an episode.
That's one. Okay.
Yeah.
What else you got? Exactly. Not much.
Just start throwing out hard R N words, which I don't do. So I was like, still. But that's to say, it'd just be funny.
In theory, it is funny. It's worse than being grounded.
Yes, it is. It's worse than when your parents are like, we're not mad, we're disappointed.
Disappointed.
Yeah. We're not mad. We're not even disappointed. But you're watching the new Burt Kreischer special. You're like, no. Why would you do that?
Lucky, oh no.
So I really think fucking the Jim Breuer special should be in the punishment section.
I see, you know what though? Because his special from 2003 called Jim Breuer Hardcore.
Yeah.
When he had like the velvet looking shirt on.
Yeah.
Was a great special.
Yeah.
I had it.
But that's before he went nuts.
Long before. I had it taped on VHS and I watched it all the time.
Because I think he was fresh out of SNL. He had just left SNL and just come back to doing stand-up full time.
He was unleashed.
Yeah.
He didn't say a word about SNL or anything, but he was so funny.
Like, yeah, he was still like doing Goat Boy material.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was still.
And the AC/DC bit, but it was fresh.
Yeah. But now it's like.
He still does.
Where he is like now in his mind is like, there's no way the special's going to be. I'm not even worried about it being super alt-right shit. I'm worried about it being coherent. You know what I mean? I was like,
yeah.
I've listened to like
cogent.
I've listened to like conservative like podcasters or like conservative comedians specials before.
Yeah.
And so honestly, a lot of times politics doesn't even come up. But with Jim Breuer, I don't see him being able to not either A, not bring it up, or B, make a joke that actually just follows any form of logic to anyone. And
he also, like, ever since the COVID fucking thing happened,
COVID broke a lot of brains.
His is a big one.
Yeah.
Ever since that he took that stance of like, if a venue requires vaccination proof of vaccination, I'm not playing, and made it a whole fucking storm. He galvanized his fan base.
Yeah.
Now he'll never be selling amphitheaters or bigger, but he might be able to do a couple 1,000-seat theaters
probably
for just his base for however long the fuck he wants.
His only problem is he's not going to bring in any younger people.
No, he's only going to.
So once his like fan base ages out,
well, he will too.
He'll have no one to play to,
and then he'd probably retire.
Like even comedians I really love and I still like to go see, I know when their fan base dies out, their career is going to fucking, you know. So it's like Jim Breuer, like you're further pigeonholing yourself with this. It's like, dude. But yeah, he's definitely a funny guy.
At least he was.
But it's like now he's just like, you want to go full alt-right, whatever. But there's a lot of people that went fully alt-right that can still make a coherent thought. You know, it's not, you might not agree with it.
Anthony Cumia.
But it's still a thought. You know, it's still, you know, you can wrap your head around it.
Yeah, we just talked about it on Patreon. Patreon.com/IRNRL. It's we just talked about fucking Anthony Cumia.
Yeah, you don't agree with the shit he's saying, but he's like,
but I can listen to him.
He can say it. He can get from the beginning of the sentence to the end of the sentence. Jim Breuer, we'll start off talking about how like he went to like a farmer's market and it ends with MK Ultra somehow. And you're just like, yeah, you can't maintain a thought without going off on a tangent about random shit. It's like,
it really makes me want to listen to the special.
oh, fuck, man. All right, I'll do it.
Because it's just going to be, well, I guess it'll be us probably three. Let's be honest. Our guest is probably not going to listen to all the comedy. They never do.
Yeah.
Which, whatever, I'm fine with. I
Yeah.
don't care. But, yeah, but there was a time when I loved Jim Breuer's stand-up.
But, so I was like, that's how, there's always, like, I had it in my queue as like I know I'm probably not going to get what I want out of this special, but it's like, it's going to be such a fucking, if you walk past a bathroom with the door wide open and someone shitting in it,
You're going to look, and it's cracked.
yeah,
You're gonna look.
You might not want to, but there's nothing in your brain, no matter what, is instantly going to fucking pan to the left and look through the crack in the door and see your mom or dad shitting.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't want to, but it's just impossible. I think this is like that. It's like you're in a comedy club and Jim Breuer gets on stage. You're like, oh, I don't want to see this. He's like, but I can't get out of my chair for a reason.
Right.
You know, it's like a train wreck. But it's like, all right. But yeah, he believes Dave Chappelle is no longer Dave Chappelle. He's a industry plant. How do you clean out your algorithm? Just delete everything you've ever seen?
Ari Shaffir explained it one time, or he did it one time, and he showed Rogan. This was like in the Sober October days. He was like, I want a clean slate on my algorithm. I want nothing but puppies in my feed. That's it. So for I think like 2 weeks or like a month, the only thing on Instagram that he would search for, interact with, like, and like watch videos of were puppies.
Sick.
And he said he cleansed his algorithm, and like you could see evidence of it on his fucking feed, and that was like 5, 6, 7 years ago now.
Because I like some shit in my YouTube algorithm. I like comedy, cell phone detailing, people cleaning out their cell phones with like fucking little
tools.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm addicted to that now, and stuff about video games, but then there's always like those outliers that just pop in. You're like, okay, yeah. So sometimes I'm washing dishes. I'm going to listen to like a best of MSSP highlight thing. And then all of a sudden it's like recommending those kind of tabloid like comedy videos where it's just people talking shit about comedians.
Like not Joke World, but like an account like that.
But instead of like Joke World where he's like actually a cheerleader for comedy, they're like, this person has lost their way, and all that shit. I'm like
why Andrew Schultz is the worst comic working.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And it's like, I don't search that shit out, but it always finds its way into the feed. I'm like, I don't want to fucking see that, but I don't want to like not see stuff come through from the comedians that are talking shit on.
Yeah.
I still like Andrew Schultz as a comedian.
Yeah.
As a person, he's kind of a dickbag.
But when he stops writing funny jokes, I'll stop laughing.
Yeah. So, yeah, but it's like, I don't want to stop seeing shit about like his clips and his, videos and stuff, but I don't want to see the Andrew Schultz shit talk videos and just like stuff along those lines. It's like, I don't know how, like, I wish you could just seriously click out of certain things you don't want to see in your algorithm ever again.
Yeah.
And there probably is a way, but I just don't know because I'm bad at the internet.
I don't know that there is, aside from manually cleansing your algorithm by seeking out things like I was just talking about. There is no way for you to filter it yourself, which is so fucking gay.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
The derogatory gay, the bad kind of gay.
The soft gay, not the cool hard gay.
Yeah. That's like, it's the
hard
same.
Gay is so sick.
Yeah.
It's like when they wear like leather and fucking like the khaki
Chains.
hats and the shirts that are just mostly straps, not even shirts.
Mesh.
Those things are so fucking sick.
Lots of mesh.
Oh,
chaps.
Fuck yes.
No pants.
Leather studs and shit.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, those things are fucking... The hard gay is so fucking cool.
Halford gay.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
He should be at the front of the line.
It's funny. I hate Judas Priest. But I think Halford's the fucking man.
He's...
gay as the days are long, but just a fucking badass dude.
When
fuck yeah, dude.
when I interviewed to work at Helium, one of the questions that the manager asked me,
"Is you like Judas Priest?"
no, he said, "Have you ever been starstruck?" Which is a great question for working in an environment like that, because you're going to be around people like, Gillis or their crew or whatever the fuck. And I said, honestly, no, except for one time when I was side stage at a Purple concert with my dad, and Priest was going on.
Yeah.
And Halford was about within arm's reach of me, because he was about to get on his motorcycle and start the bike and go on stage. And in that moment, I was like, fuck, Rob Halford's right there. And that's as far as I went.
I've said it on here before that I don't get starstruck. And I'm not saying in that as like, I'm such a cool dude.
No, I know exactly what you mean.
And it sucks because like I see other people get starstruck. And I was like,
I wish I could have that joy.
I wish I could have that joy. Like, I was like, God damn it, dude, that's so fucking awesome. Like, just watch them just geek out over like a person.
Even to bring it back to comedy, when episode 1 of Stuff Island, was it Stuff Island, or was it might have been episode 1 of Being Ian, when he talked to Dykstra.
Oh, that's definitely Ian. Ian loves Dykstra.
Well, the Stuff Island guys were on there, and to see how happy they were to just chill with Lenny Dykstra.
Well, that's why I said before, we've talked about being starstruck and having heroes and shit before. I don't get starstruck, but one thing that does get me like choked up and stuff.
Artists?
No, it's like,
Was it the comic book writers?
Yes. There used to be a show called Comic Book Men. It was on the channel that had Walking Dead.
Okay, AMC.
Yes, thank you. And it was like, out of a comic book shop. But there was they had an episode where Stan Lee visits the shop.
We talked about this on podcast before. Yeah.
And like,
you were like, if it was one person, it would be him,
I wasn't geeked about Stan Lee being there. But the fact, then there's this, at the end of it, you see Stan Lee's on the counter, sitting on the counter of the comic book shop, and he's talking to the guys who work there, and they're all sitting crisscross applesauce in front of him, just like jaws
just absorbing,
jaws to their chest, just fucking wide-eyed, just hanging on every word he says. And that type of shit gets me choked up. Like, say, like, not like an artist, like a musician I really like. I don't really give a shit. Like, I'm interested in what they have to say. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But listening to them,
you're not worshiping.
But when I see an art, like a musician I really like, geek out about their favorite musician, and them fanning out, I get fucking bleary eyed. I'm just like, oh, that's fucking,
it's beautiful.
Like when you watch, like, there's a
what's in my bag.
There's a comic book artist. His name's artist and writer. His name's Alan Moore. He created Watchmen and a bunch of other great stuff, right? And
some of my favorite comic artwork, by the way.
He is really just a strange guy, right? Yeah. But he's talented as fuck. But he's
no kidding.
He's a weirdo. But listening to him geek out about Len Wein, who's the guy who created Swamp Thing and Wolverine and a bunch of other really cool shit, and then when you see like this weird long-haired pseudo wizard Brit geeking out about an American Jewish boy from New York City, like fanning out about this guy Len Wein, who's like, that was like, oh, that's adorable. Like, that is kind of cool.
Huh.
You know what I mean?
It's interesting that's your the chord that gets struck in you.
Yeah. I honestly, because it kind of, I think it's because it shows me that someone as strange, weird, and off-putting as Alan Moore can find the joy in his heart when he talks about like a writer that he loves, and you're just like, yeah, that's fucking great.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's just jealous of me because like for some reason I really respect artists, I really respect writers, I really respect musicians. It's not like I don't have any respect for them, but I can't fan out like that. And when I can see these guys, these hard ass dudes fanning out like that, I'm like, I wish I had that. I think probably my upbringing. It's weird. So it's like that has something to do with it.
Yeah.
But I really wish I had that level where I could just like, oh my God, so-and-so's right there in front of me. Fuck.
Reverence.
Yeah. Like I met fucking Kirk from Crowbar, and all my other band members were fucking like freaking out.
Bowing at the altar.
Yeah, I'm just like, this dude's fucking short.
Yeah, he is a little guy.
He's short. Because before that, only times I've seen him was on stage.
Yeah.
So everybody looks tall on the stage.
Yeah. That's the riff lord right there.
And then I was like, yeah, and I'm a huge, I love his riffs. I love his lyrics. But and like I met him and I was like,
I like his lyrics more than his riffs.
Like the people,
and his riffs are that
this
good.
is when I was still in Dead and Buried, and those guys are fucking just like, and I'm just like, oh, what's up, dude? How you doing? And I wasn't like trying to be the cool
Mr.
guy.
Cool guy, yeah.
I just couldn't. I was like, fuck, dude. I wish I had that shit.
Yeah. It would take.
I wish I had joy in my life.
You see, I can't even like point to a famous person, celebrity or not, but just famous person who I think that it would starstruck, that would make me starstruck. I think
if you gave me a few days, I could come up with one.
Yeah, I think, but if it just happened, it happens.
Like I'm hoping one day I'll just be on a street somewhere and somebody I admire or respect will just happen to be to the left of me. And I'll be like, oh my God, it's you. Like that'll might get me. But like when I met Kirk from Crowbar, I had gone to see Crowbar. So he's going to be there.
Yeah.
So he's not going to catch you off guard. Now if like I was at a record store flipping through records and all of a sudden I looked to the right and there's Kirk from Crowbar, it might have been different, but I don't know.
I got one for you.
Okay.
We drive down to Baltimore.
Okay.
Or you're driven to Baltimore. Whatever. You get there.
I end up in Baltimore.
Show's a soundstage, right?
Yeah.
So you're in the parking garage next door to the venue.
Okay.
You're on the octopus lot, which is the fourth floor, whatever.
I'm taking the elevator down.
Who else like door's about to close. Can you hold that? You stick your hand out. Kirk gets in the elevator with you.
Yeah.
Elevator's going down. 3, 2, gets stuck. You get stuck in the elevator with Kirk for like 2 hours.
We've had this conversation. You know exactly what I'd say. Did you fart?
I think for me, like I'd be starstruck for a minute, but I would love to just like have regular conversation with for an extended period of time. Lady Gaga.
Yeah. Like I'd be shocked that
you're like,
if I'm not making it a point to go someplace that I know that person's going to be at,
you're picking
like Gaga. I don't like her music and I don't give a shit about her movies, but like if I ran across her like in an elevator,
in line at Dunkin'
or like that, I'm like, oh fuck, that's Lady Gaga. I'd be like that, but that's as much excitement as you get out of me, and I have no problem with her, and I think she's beautiful, and I'm just like, I'd be like, oh shit, Gaga, what the? I'd be like, the fuck are you doing it here? Like, what are you doing in Wilmington? That's as far as I would take it. I was like, are you fucking playing here? You got a movie here? What's like?
Her tour bus just happened to be in the same rest stop as you guys.
Or I would just be like, oh hey, I'd lie, but big fan. You do great work, and it's like that. But like, I wish I could be like, oh my God, Lady Gaga, you're the greatest. Oh my God.
I would say, Miss Germanata, it is a pleasure to meet you.
What's her name? Stephanie?
Yeah. Something Germanata. It's four names.
I don't care how much. She's hot.
She's not.
She's hot, dude.
She's a 15 out of 10.
Dude, what was the really fucking foo-foo gay movie she had? I think McConaughey was in it. No.
Bradley Cooper. Star is Born.
Yeah. Like her in that. I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Fuck.
But even like hot actresses, if I saw them in real life, I say that now, but I wouldn't fan out there either. Unless Kat Dennings hitting on me, then I'd be like, yo. But like, I'd still be
Kat Dennings is a damn good one too.
Oh, God damn it. Jesus Christ. Anyway, but like, I'd still be like, oh shit. But I wouldn't like fucking like, oh my God, like have to breathe into a paper bag.
Right. I don't think I would get that way with pretty much anyone.
Yeah.
In fact, I would rather like put my ego aside purposefully to treat them as normal as possible.
Yeah. You always want to play it cool.
It's not even about playing it cool. I want them to feel normal.
Yeah.
They probably don't, I'm assuming, like a lot of famous people are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
You have to be psychotic to get to some people's level of fame. But there are some outliers out there who can be accused of being industry plants because they come out of fucking nowhere, but they are fucking just human beings.
Yeah. Who's the most famous person you ever met?
That is a great question. Fuck.
Do you want me to start?
Yeah, you start, please.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah, I remember the Bruce Willis. I think we've had this fucking discussion too.
Yeah, it's my buddy John Hassan. Love you, Johnny. Used to work at Toys R Us during season.
Yeah, and he bought all those toys. Yeah.
And then he wouldn't get a discount for being Bruce Willis, he walked out.
So he was a jerk, yeah.
So John told me the story about how much of a piece of shit this guy was. And then I ended up at Rubino's in Wilmington, I'd say a week and a half, 2 weeks later, and he just happened to be coming out of there. And I was like, oh, Bruce Willis, what's up, man? He's like, oh, hey, how you doing? And then just kept walking. And that's it. Well, other than that, it's like a bunch of people that Delawarean celebrities like Aubrey Plaza.
Little face-to-face
The
interaction.
dude from Law and Order, Esparza. What the fuck is it? I forget his first name.
We looked it up before.
Yeah, but yeah, I've met them.
Fucking Google it. I don't care.
I've met them. But like, yeah, Bruce Willis. But I didn't geek hard at that.
Damn.
But there's other people like I've seen in public. Like that Bruce Willis probably would be the guy.
Yeah, he's so far up there.
Oh, and I did meet Steve Buscemi at the Borgata in New Jersey.
That is way cooler.
Yeah.
Than the Bruce Willis thing.
I was just like, oh shit, Steve Buscemi, what's up, man? He just goes like that.
That's great.
Throws his finger at me and just keeps talking to his boys. And
keep it moving.
Fucking rips.
That's great.
One time we were actually also in Atlantic City. This is why it reminded me of this. We used to always go, Murrow will attest to this. We used to always just go to Atlantic City, buffet it, go to the casinos, but not actually gamble or anything. And we were just driving around up and down the street in Atlantic City once, and we would just yell at people from like a car. And this one dude, Matt, that we used to hang out with, I'm not gonna say his last name because he's a piece of shit now, and I don't fucking want to give him any kind of credibility, was just like constantly like yelling shit out of the car window. It was actually kind of funny. We saw a limo coming up this way, and a guy out of the sunroof in a fur coat with like a champagne bottle in his hand. He's like, ah! And he's getting like, F you, F slur, like that, like as loud as I. And like, as it got closer, I was like, oh, that's fucking Kid Rock.
That's funny as shit.
So like,
damn.
It was very apropos of this situation. like. Matt, you nailed that fucking description. But like, yeah, like we're just like, oh, it's just some jag-off, like fucking. He's like in Vegas, Atlantic City,
some fuck face on prom or whatever,
or like now you're like for the weekend doing blow with his boys. Then as it got closer, you're like, oh fuck, that's Kid Rock. That's nuts.
That's Robert.
Yeah.
God damn it! I think if I've ever even encountered a celebrity in the wild, it was so quick, or I was too young to even remember.
Fucking Delaware-born celebrities and Bruce Willis.
But I've been
in town because of Sixth Sense.
I've been to so many places other than Delaware, though. Like I just can't recall any.
Well, I met Dave Grohl.
You know what? He's probably the one, because I had that interaction on my 21st birthday that my friend ruined the one time.
I don't think I know that one. Did you tell it?
I told it on this pod before. I told it on my old pod too.
Did I tell the story about me meeting him?
Yeah. Because I remember you answered it with a story.
Yeah.
In classic Dennis fashion.
Yeah. I got stories. What am I going to do?
Oh, you have a story. I also have a story about that. Let me tell it. No, in short, like, if for some reason you didn't hear that episode before, I went to when I worked at Guitar Center, I went to Rehoboth for my 21st birthday because I wanted to go to I wanted to go to the Green Turtle, and my first drink that I ordered at a bar was going to be a Dr. Pepper.
Fuck yeah.
And it's exactly what I did. But I say I worked at Guitar Center at the time because I just so happened to bump into my store manager and my assistant store manager just randomly on the boardwalk, and they were like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I requested off. Today is my 21st birthday. And they were both like, what the fuck? Let's hang out.
Yeah.
Took me out to dinner at,
nice.
I want to say it's Iron Hill. I think there's an Iron Hill, like
Iron Hill Brewery. Yeah.
there, like
They got a
right
decent burger too.
right on Boardwalk Avenue, leading up to the boardwalk. Another two of my Guitar Center coworkers were there. Everybody was drinking all night. We walked up and down the Dolly's side. We come back, and then there's that corner opposite of where Dolly's is with the ice cream shop on the corner, the candy kitchen.
Yeah.
Outside that ice cream shop on the bench is Dave Grohl.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, oh shit, that's Dave Grohl.
I know a lot of people that have seen him. Like, Delaware Beaches,
He has a home down there.
get a lot of fucking celebrities there. Like, but like, thing is, like, I have always had family. Like, I've always had family in Lewis, and my dad currently lives in Lewis, right?
Right.
So I've been Lewis, Rehoboth. I've been going there for years, right?
Yeah.
I ain't never seen anybody. I've never seen anybody, but like, I know tons of people that have seen like tons of like huge celebrities.
Well, like the Bottle and Cork brings acts there all the time.
Yeah. What's the other joint? The Rudder.
Rusty Rudder.
Yeah.
Let me finish the story too. So he's sitting on the bench.
I kiss him deeply.
If only. As I was about to be like, from one drummer to another, like, I just want to say, like, Nevermind is the most perfectly recorded piece of music I've ever heard. Everything you've done for music is awesome. Thank you. My trashed coworker, Brian, cuts in front of me and goes, "Are you Dave Grohl?"
Classic Brian.
Are you Dave Grohl? And Dave throws it right back at him. He was like, "I don't know. Am I? Am I?"
Classic Dave Grohl.
And then he slurs a little more, and he's like, look, man, you're with your family. I'm not gonna bother you or nothing, but just you're awesome." Right, like just cut right in front of me, and I was like, I will not say a word.
Yeah.
And I didn't, but I had a great.
It would have been funny if lean in was like, "Hi, Tom. I also think you're awesome."
Yeah,
that would have been fucking hilarious.
But
actually.
I'm sober as a cat.
Yeah,
and
clear-headed. You are awesome. So don't just think it's a drunk man rambling.
Right,
you are quite awesome, sir.
But that day was just such a great day. Like, I didn't mind it.
I guess I didn't technically meet Dave Grohl.
No, I was,
because he walked by me and he said hello to us. And I was like, "What's up, dude?" And then he was down the block. I was like, "I got looks like Dave Grohl." And like the guy at the studio was like, "Nah, Dave Grohl." So I guess I technically didn't actually meet him.
You encountered him though.
Yeah, but I don't think I technically met him.
No, you didn't. You didn't exchange handshake. Whatever.
I did have I don't know if I've told this story. We played the Polish Club with Sworn Enemy. Iron Price did.
Ooh, celebrities.
And no. Most of the dudes in Sworn Enemy are techs, kind of like your dad. Like they do.
Yeah, they work for bigger bands.
Yeah, and a lot of them work for the band Living Color.
Great industry and fucking Living Color came to the Polish Club show.
They were just there chilling, and everybody was like, "Oh, Living Color," and the singer
was in Platoon.
Yeah, so I sat down. I was like, "I love Platoon. That's one of my favorite movies." I'm like, I bet this dude never, ever gets questions about Platoon. So I sat down at the bar. I was like, "Yo, man, is Johnny Depp really a bitch? Like, what's it like hanging out with like Private Francis and Bunny and shit? Like, like." And he's like, "Oh," and like I kind of like caught him. Like he's like, "Oh shit," and like I was like, "Yeah."
That's such a hilarious niche thing to be able to pull out too.
Oh, my buddy Dom Romeo from A389
King of Baltimore.
He told me a story about he met Dan Aykroyd. I also met Dan Aykroyd, but I always thought Bruce Willis was more famous than Dan Aykroyd. To me, at least.
I think they're kind of equal.
Yeah, fair. But he met Dan Aykroyd, and instead of asking him shit about like Ghostbusters and stuff, he asked him shit about the Dragnet movie.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And like I was like, so I think like I had that story in my head when I saw Corey Glover from Living Color. And I was like, I'm gonna kind of do that too, and ask him questions about. Well, honestly, I give more shit about Platoon than I do the band Living Color.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna ask him about this. This will be fun. But I didn't really care. But I was just like, it'll probably be funny to him. So I'm a sucker to making people laugh. So I'm like, I'm gonna go do that.
You're a slave to the laugh, man.
Like I did meet Dan Aykroyd, but I was also like one of those really cheese dick signings when he had his vodka thing.
That's not real. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like
You walk up and like you have to pay.
Yeah.
You walk up and you're like, oh, can you sign this? And they sign it and they're like, oh, what's your name? All right, get out of here. Or they're like, do you need a picture? I'm like, no. All right, then go.
damn.
You don't get to have like real connection or a talk with them or anything like that.
I've been to a signing before, and I got an autograph from at least one, but I can't fucking remember who anymore.
I don't give a shit about that stuff. It's weird to me. Or even pictures with like,
I don't want pictures with any fucking body.
maybe it's because like I had such a poor self-image for like I don't want to look at myself. So like that's why I don't like, because I know a lot of people like to have pictures of them with celebrities or whatever. But I don't want that. Even if it's like be like my favorite actor or my favorite musician, I'm like, I don't want that.
Now, if I was stuck in an elevator with Lady Gaga for 2 hours or more,
What would you ask her?
All kinds of shit. I would get her talking about music. As much
Gaga,
as
what are you, a
possible.
baby or something? You heard what I said?
Go on now.
Go on now.
Give
Give a little a shucka.
I would get her talking about music and see just how far her rabbit hole goes as far as shit that she's maybe not heard about, whatever, but not punish also.
The bring it back. What if you sat down and asked her, like, look, we don't believe bands like Mortician when they say they've hacked up people for barbecue, but we get really mad when people bring up World War II and the Nazis. Should we have that on the same thing, or do you think we should just, take it for what it is and all that, and just see what she says, and just kind of like, as soon as you get the question out, sit back and put your hands like that. Go. It'd be fucking great.
It would be funny to like take a picture in the elevator, like guess who broke the elevator? Like that's funny.
Or that'd be funny as shit. You're stuck, like the elevator stops and it's you and Gaga in there, and you just turn her like, Jesus, how much do you weigh? Like that would be fucking hysterical.
I'm obviously double her size and weight.
Like, it'd be even funnier if I did it.
Yes.
It's like, oh, thanks, Tubbo. Like, fuck, that'd be fucking great. Oh shit, that'd be great.
I want to end this episode with you just raised something that piqued my curiosity. Bruce Willis versus Dan Aykroyd as far as fame goes. What movie is bigger, Die Hard or Ghostbusters?
Die Hard.
You think so?
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Because this is you still see Die Hard on television. You rarely see Ghostbusters on television.
You see Ghostbusters 2 a hell of a lot more on television than Ghostbusters 1.
But do you see it a lot more than Die Hard?
I feel like it's about equal.
You might luck into one of the Ghostbusters movies on Halloween. You are guaranteed to see the Die Hard movies, at least the first two, on Christmas.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
So
first one for sure.
On my money's this is not which is actually a better movie. No. I think Die Hard is the more popular one.
Well, more popular? Yeah.
Yeah.
But as like Die Hard is synonymous with action movie.
And also the Die Hard movies really brought action movies, because like before, action movies were almost as treated same as horror movies. They're very niche. Only certain people like them. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Die Hard made them like, oh, you can actually have like an A+ movie, A tier actors and actresses in a shitty violent action flick, and it would do extremely well. So it kind of legitimized the really over the top violent action movies.
It did. It legitimized.
You wouldn't have
movies.
Shit like Bourne Identity or fucking John Wick,
even The Matrix and shit,
without Die Hard coming over and being that popular. Because
maybe, yeah,
I think one of the reasons is Bruce Willis in Die Hard looks like a regular dude.
Mostly,
right?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah, he does. Because
before Die Hard, all your action movie stars were like jacked as fuck, barely spoke English people, right? So
superhero body.
yeah, it wasn't relatable whatsoever. Then you get Bruce in there, and he's got a receding fucking hairline
John McClane.
and a Jersey accent. It's like,
Yeah, he does.
yeah, it's like, dude, he kind of made
Fucking John McClane.
it elevated action flicks to the level that. Oh, and also Lethal Weapon. Those two movies made like you can have like the movie of the summer, not just a blockbuster, but the movie of the summer be an action flick, where before it was never more than just like a popcorn movie.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, Die Hard. My only argument is Die Hard being synonymous with action. Ghostbusters is synonymous with comedies too.
But they also, you will occasionally see it thrown in with like not horror, but like Halloween movies, just because it's got the spooky element to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I guess so.
So it crosses genre lines.
Yeah, a little bit it does.
Yeah. Because you always have those outliers. So like, there's not really horror. Like movies like Ghostbusters, Gremlins, shit like that. It's like, it's not really a horror flick because it's not terrifying in any way whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of silly and fun. So yeah.
It's campy.
Yeah. But not campy in the fucking John Waters campy where it's like, oh, look how kooky we are.
That's a different
It's just
thing.
how it ends up.
Yeah.
But as far as actors, I'd say Bruce Willis over Dan Aykroyd any day of the week. Dan Aykroyd did really well in comedies. Fantastic in comedies, right? Bruce Willis did well comedy, action, drama. He was more across the board than Dan. So I go
diverse, yeah, sure.
So I go Bruce.
I think you're right. I think you convinced me.
I have, but Dan Aykroyd still fucking rules, and I even like him now when he's so fucking weird.
Oh, I like him so much more.
Yeah. You know, like when you fucking make a crystal skull for your vodka brand, that fucking rules, dude.
Yeah, that rocks.
Fucking weirdo. I gotta pee.
Let's pee and then do homework.
Yeah. Though I did have a friend that if you went into the bathroom right after he pissed, it stunk bad.
That's a chemistry thing.
But we couldn't figure it out. Like, we were his friends, but we didn't really bring it up to him because it was really just like, it seemed like if we would ask him, you can keep this all in, that we were like, you know, why did it stink? He'd probably get self-conscious and really hurt. We couldn't figure out if his piss stunk or his dick and balls stunk. But it wasn't like a body odor, sweat, smell, you know? So we didn't think it was dick and balls, so it had to be piss. But like we didn't like see him like eat weird shit or do drugs or drink heavily or anything like that. So I was like, that was strange.
Huh.
It's like, dog, your piss smells dangerous.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. As we said before, patreon.com/IRRANDILL. Coming up, we will be taking the show on the road.
That's the road, if you don't understand.
The road. And
the accent.
Because we make the reason we never do Zoom is because
it sucks ass.
It sucks. It fucks the vibe up.
Name one Zoom podcast that's better than any in-person podcast. I'll wait.
Or even this is like, take any great phone conversation you've had and pair it up against a sit-down hangout with that person. It's not even close. So we have a lot of friends and we want to talk to in like other areas. So we will be taking things on the road somewhat, going to a certain area and just mopping up episodes of as much people from that area as we can.
Yeah, this summer.
So this summer will be a little silly.
Yeah.
In the meantime, every week, Tom and I bring each other a piece of music and comedy or a combination or version of the two to report back on the following week. We also have our guests take part as well. Last week, we didn't have a guest. It was just the three of us. Let's get into what Mike brought us.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like me to start?
Yeah, you start.
He brought us a band called Mangled State. Learn to Suffer. Real modern power violence. What dumb bands like Gulch and Zulu wish they could pull off. You can smell this record. I give it a 10 out of 10, especially when the feedback be like,
yo, for sure. Bars.
That it's
do some more.
It's not. I can't. I was running out of breath. I have bad lung power. It's nothing new. It's nothing game changing, but it is so fucking good at what it does and what it's going for that I was just like, this fucking is a ripper. I know jack shit about this band, but I really want to know more and find other stuff by them. I really enjoyed it highly.
Mangled State, Learn to Suffer. Yet another new Youth Attack band Mike has shown me. They have one of those names that are synonymous with how their bands sound. Drowse should have also been a Youth Attack band. We were good enough. I wish they would have heard the demo I sent them. Oh yeah, Mangled State. No notes. It's fucking good. 6 out of 10. You at this point, Dennis, should give Youth Attack Records
I know who they are.
$2,000 and just get their whole discography. You'd probably like 90% of it.
Or get it free off SoulSeek. Winky. Are they still active?
This is a new record.
Is it?
It's on Youth Attack. Yeah. That guy, the guy who
is that record, is the record we just reviewed, is that this year? Or
I think it's this. I think it's either this year or last year.
Okay.
But Youth Attack is still very much active. He's
nice.
The person who runs Youth Attack is like in a band. I just don't remember who.
All right, yeah.
Who it is.
Disregard anything I said. Actually, go support this label.
Yeah. If there's 5 hardcore labels that I would gladly put money into and support, this is one of them. Youth Attack has always put out
Youth
records
Attack.
I like.
There's some like it maybe even if it's a record I'm not head over heels in love with, it's still one that I like. I don't think anything I've listened to on that label has gotten beneath like a 6 in like our current review scale.
Right.
Nothing's been below a 6. Like everything is at least good. A lot of it's great, but the worst of it is still good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a hell of a track record. The dude who runs the label, great ear for picking out new shit. Good for you, buddy. Mike also brought us Quiet Light Going Nowhere.
Yeah.
Everything about this is lazy. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just so sleepy and tired, but I still really enjoy this record for real. Though that first track was hella fucking dumb.
Yeah, agree.
And I mean that in a bad way. She's just reciting the calendar to a busy tone track. But track 2 forward, 7 out of 10. That first song, I wish they would have left that off the fucking record.
Yeah,
And not even pointing at the end of the record. Leave it off entirely.
Yeah, I agree with you.
2 forward is fucking great.
Right.
But that first one, yikes.
I literally start my review with very slow to start. Took a couple songs to get me to pay attention. The song that's all like, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, that's what's up.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
The songs with the real instruments are much better than the ones without. Lyrically, it's great too.
Mm-hmm.
I actually could hear and understand the lyrics, but largely I was just like,
Fair.
5 out of 10.
I heard this when I was in a very tired mood and just a chill mood. So I was like, it fit my mood perfectly at that point in time.
That's everything.
But even then, like that first track, like the musically, it was just kind of like one like beat. And then just like, January 5th. I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
whatever.
that one's a skip.
And it sucks because like that's what you picked as your lead in?
I know.
Come on, guys. Now back to more mongrels. You gave me Mongrels Baptized in the Gutter. You know those corny horrorcore bands that wear death metal shirts but still sound like Throwdown and Slipknot? Nah, dude. If these dudes wore Cannibal Corpse gear, I'd actually believe them. Hardcore inspired by Florida and New York death metal? Fucking yes, please. 8 out of 10. P.S. Might be a bit egocentric, but the dude singing kind of sounds like me on the last 3 Dead and Buried releases. I was like, dude, this guy... And I know, like, I guarantee he has no idea who we are or what we're going for. I was like, dude, this is kind of freaky. But I really liked it.
I like everything they've done so far.
I'll definitely want to check out more. I was like, this is really fucking... Like, there's a lot of bands, like, they show up wearing, like, 6 Feet Under shirts, but still end up just sounding like shitty Terror ripoff. Yeah. You're like, all right, dude, this is fucking disappointing.
I've heard this before.
If these guys had, like, the fucking... Bundle of Sticks logo shirts on and stuff like that, I'd be like, oh yeah, these guys actually do listen to that music. They're not just wearing the shirt to look cool.
Yeah.
I was like, this is fucking cool as shit.
I think they'll be around here in the near future.
Nice. Yeah, I'm really out of touch with I know modern hardcore, but not as much as I want to. And if more bands sound like this, I'm really kicking myself for kind of sitting it out.
Yeah. Do you want to volley it to me for music and keep?
Yeah,
up with
then we'll
music?
go back and forth with comedy. Yeah.
Okay.
Do that. Go ahead.
You gave me what did you say? It's later in the catalog for Skinless.
Yeah.
The record is called Trample the Weak.
They broke up like right after. And then got back together later, but still.
My notes are just
It was the first one. They got rid of their singer and did a record without him.
It is the only.
This is one of those.
It is the only album to feature vocalist Jason Kaiser.
Yeah.
As well as the band's only album without vocalist Sherwood Weber IV.
Yeah. And that's why everybody kind of like, fuck that record. We're never going to listen to it. It's not Sherwood.
Right.
So.
I sure would like to hear some more of their catalog.
Fuck yeah.
I said, what the heck is wrong with this? I don't have a problem with this. Said as someone whose first time ever actually listening to Skinless is right now.
Really? Huh.
It's a little one flavor, but I like it. Deviation will not be tolerated. I'm especially liking. Mm-hmm. Makes me want to go back and listen to the rest of their catalog and finally check it out. The closing track was a curveball. Of course, it's a Black Sabbath cover. 6.5 out of 10. I really liked it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I sure would like to listen to more Skinless.
It's a bit of a departure from the early shit. But all of their stuff's great. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, so it's interesting that you go with this over any other Skinless.
Well, that's why I brought it, because I think a lot of people who listen, if you listen to metal, you've heard the first two Skinless records. You've heard them. And this is the one, like, I kind of like when I brought in Release the Cure for Indecisions, like, it's not that I think it's the best of their stuff. It's one that I think went under the radar and no one really gave a chance to because it was a different singer. Everybody's kind of like, oh, well, it's not that guy. Fuck that record. But you want to give it a chance. So that's why I brought that record. It's not my favorite Skinless record at all. But
you're always championing a band's later record that gets no credit.
You got to give it at least a chance. You can't just say, fuck it. It doesn't have this guy. I'm not even going to bother. It still has all the other fucking guys. Give it a shot. You never know.
Sometimes it does.
So, like, honestly, 7 out of 10 times it's going to suck dicks. But 3 out of 10 times it's still going to be a ripper.
So, yeah, 3 out of 10 times it's pretty cool.
Yeah. You gave me a special on YouTube by Carmen Lagala, Sweet Batch. Great fucking title, by the way. My best friend is on my hands. Is anyone else here married? To my dad? Mass shootings and skedaddling. With my corpse, though, right? Like, that line fucked me up bad. Like, when she was like, if you were like on like a date with like Ted Bundy and he wasn't trying any shit, you're like, oh, well, you're gonna fuck my corpse though, right? You're like, that fucked me up. Tornado hand job, aka throwing shingles at your dick. It had some rough spots.
I forgot how good that
it had some really rough spots, but overall it's a very solid special. 8 out of 10.
It's been a while since I saw it and put it on my list of shit to assign, but I forgot how funny it was.
I have it on my to assign special lists. It's some stuff is like a year old just because I just like always put something else before it.
It's because we haven't watched Jim Breuer yet to get out of the way.
What if it's so good and then like
we're like, listen, it was
like, dude, like you gave me that last week. It's like, no, but I wanted you to listen to it again this week. You know, I was like, God,
we're gonna have to do a mea culpa.
Yeah. You've given me the Jim Breuer special 4 times in a month, dickhead. And you also gave it to me as music. Like, stop. You need to fucking stop.
It would be so funny.
It had rough spots, but Carmen Lagala's special was really good, and I really look forward to hearing more from her.
Yeah, she's solid, dude.
I found out about her from Soder's podcast.
Great episode too.
Yeah, really good episode.
Let's see. You gave me a special that was on my to assign list even before it came out because I know that Joe List was promoting this shit when he was about to record it. So I knew it was coming, but You gave me Matt Wayne's YouTube special, Take a Sniff.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote, this is a rewatch for me, and then I got more through the special, and I was like many specials and stand-up performances, I have zero recollection of any of the jokes, so it will probably all be brand new to me over again. I'm born in July, but I hate summer. When I was a boy and it was super hot outside, my parents would look at my sisters and I and go, "Whew, it's hot out today. This is child abuse weather." So that whole chunk fucked me up. I wish he had talked. I wish he had talked through that. There's a moment where a bunch of glasses clink, and he says, "Let's start that over."
Yeah.
I wish he had kind of just bulldozed through that. He would have been fine, but that's a me.
I kind of like that sometimes when people do that.
A funny reset,
or like when someone like calls like, "Oh, we'll edit that out." Like that. For sometimes that fucking will get you. That'll get you.
Best one was that one you assigned me. The guy goes, "I'm just waiting for the edit."
I forget who that is, but
it was one of the younger guys. I fucking
or like Osmus when he's doing. He has someone like he's doing crowd. He asks a guy in the crowd a question, and it doesn't go the direction he wants to go, and he just goes, "Fuck!" And he's like, "All right, I'm gonna ask you again, but this time I want you to say this."
Yeah.
So yeah, that's fucking great.
So his dad's one joke of adding .com after a fart is 75 out of 10 comedy.
That is fucking great.
Also, Crocodile Dundee. Hell yeah, let's all get naked and check for bugs. Speaking of checking for bugs, when he said he did not spread his wife's butt cheeks and check for ticks, she doesn't even let me in there. A tick will be in there just mocking me like, "I love this anus." Ticks love the anus, is what he said. Fucked me up too. I love the mountains. I hate mountain people. Wow, do I agree. Like we were just talking about earlier about fucking hiking.
Yeah.
People just dumb. She's a real bag of snakes, a real flat soda, a real hornet in the car. Who do we know that's a real flat soda? Haven't we talked about someone being a flat soda before? I feel like I've heard that expression in this room.
Who? Phil?
No, someone else. I think
we have a bunch of dumb shit like that. We used to be saying stuff.
It might have even been in the car or something, but I hate microwaves. Also, come on. You just hit some buttons and some shit gets that hot? What's really going on in there? And I could write down every other joke from this special. It was that fun. Like, I really fucking like this guy, and I would love to see him live. Yeah. This is up there on my list of specials this year. This is a 9 out of 10 for sure.
It kind of rips that your memory's kind of fucked. Because all you got to do is listen to a special once, right? Determine that you like it. Kind of save it to like your YouTube, whatever.
Watch it a year later.
And you're like, and it's brand new. You get to watch it with fresh eyes multiple times.
Yeah.
That fucking rules.
Unless it really sticks out and is really memorable. Yeah.
That's sick. I mean, after like the fourth time you watch it, obviously you're like, all right, I know what this is going to happen. But then you're like, oh.
Right. Silver lining or whatever.
Yeah. I'm trying to be a positive person here. What do you got for me this week?
Trying to be like Andrew.
I'm telling you.
For comedy, I'm going to give you a special. Just came out. One of your favorite stand-ups going.
Oh.
Tim Dillon just put out a stand-up special yesterday.
Saved it to my queue on Netflix.
Tim Dillon's new special on Netflix, I'm Your Mother.
I did not even know this came out. I was watching a Joke World clip. He's like, new specials just came out. I was like, oh, shit.
Yep. I watched it the moment it came out. I will say nothing about it.
Yeah.
Music, I have, it can only be found on YouTube. It is a live set. From the band Spazz. The best proprietors of Cookie Monster.
Oh yeah, dude.
The set is called Spazz live at KZSU 1999. So it was clearly recorded on
1999.
One of those over the shoulder like fucking camcorders.
Yeah.
But the sound is really fucking good because it's from the radio station.
You're gonna have to send me the link. But yeah, so I guess I can just search it. But
Yeah.
It'd be easier.
Spazz live at KZSU 1999.
I've actually had the chance to see Spazz, and live it was awesome.
I bet.
What
do you got for me this week?
It's another Netflix special. Also very recently came out by one Rosebud Baker.
It's been on my list for a fucking while.
Mother Lode, Lode. Here's a record. I don't know if I've brought this to you before. So if I did, tell me and I'll get you something different. Murder Construct is the band. And the album is called Results. I don't know if you have your little fucking spreadsheet handy.
I don't have internet out here. The name Murder Construct sounds familiar, but the record name doesn't. If I do have it, I do, but if I don't, I don't.
All right, homework. Also, Jim
Breuer. Was it someone had to say it?
Somebody had to say it, something along those lines.
We'll know.
It's YouTube. If anybody else wants to,
yeah. If you have any question too, check the description of every episode.
Yeah.
Everything we have ever assigned each other, guests included, are always in the description of the episode.
Son.
Specifically for people like motherfucking Leg 9.
People like Dennis McGonigal, who's a fucking idiot. Thank you for another episode spent with us.
Titillating.
We promise next week Mike will actually show up.
I think.
Hopefully. Mike, where'd he go?
Guys, I have another basketball game.
He's like, I gotta eat more fucking rigatoni. You fucking dirtbag. Fucking stupid dummy. Yeah. If you really want to help us out, repost the clips, like the clips, comment on the clips, check out the Patreon, recommend us to other people. You know what to do. We appreciate it. We'll see y'all next week. Tommy, hit the intro music.
1, 2, 3, 4 그림제가 선배 맘에 탕탕 오로 탕탕탕 오로로로로 탕탕